Hey guys, I am going to do a little story time video today and chew some gum. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I thought I could still try to do a little video. I'm just not sounding the best, so sorry about that. I actually have kind of started to wonder if all this has turned into like a sinus infection. I'm not really wanting to be on antibiotics right now, so I'm going to try to ride it out. But I was recently just thinking about some of the trips that we have taken, my husband and I, and I thought of a story time that I could share that was kind of funny in hindsight, but at the time wasn't. I don't know, it was still a little bit funny to me, but it's definitely funnier in hindsight. Several years ago, we went to Washington, D.C. for a little trip. This was before my son was born, so, we were traveling just us, which is, way easier, and you can be more like fly by the seat of your pants because you don't have to plan. So like our trips that we have taken since we had our child are drastically different, but I wouldn't change it. But anyway, when we went to DC, it was the winter time, which honestly I would not change that. Like, I loved going there when it was super cold because I have been to DC in the summertime and you do so much walking outside, I don't know. I would just much prefer to be bundled up in like a scarf and a coat and a hat, and like start to kind of break up a sweat like as you're walking around the city than to be just like drenched in sweat with the sun beating down on you. I don't know. It was just way like more preferable for me to go in the winter. And like there had just been a snowstorm, so it was beautiful outside. And we would just bundle up every day. And, I guess in most big cities they have this, but they have I can't remember what it's called, but the bikes that are like hooked up and you can just pay by the hour or pay by like 30 minutes or whatever. And they have the bike stations set up all over the city, so you can bike to a different location and find a bike spot to drop your bike off. Like they have the app, so like when you download the app, you can see where all of the like port stations are. And we used that the entire week and we loved it. It was so much fun to just like bike around the city and always have a place that we could like put our bikes back. And it was just super cheap, a super cheap way to like navigate the city and also not have to go everywhere on foot. And also to like still see all the sights. I loved it. So anyway, we had a very full day traveling around the city, seeing all the stuff. And I'm pretty sure this was the night that we went to Old Ebbitt's Grill, which was a super good restaurant. It's really close to the White House. And so like we had some friends tell us about it, and it was just, I don't know, it was so good. I guess it's super well known in DC. So we had eaten there. Maybe like gone to see the memorial, like the outside, some of the outdoor memorials at night when they're all lit up, you know, it was so pretty. And so it was getting fairly late, and we were going back to our Airbnb, which was like across the river. So the memorials, like the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, all that is on one side. And then when you cross over the bridge, that's like Arlington Cemetery and just another part of the city. So anyway, we were on the side with the monument and the like Lincoln Memorial and stuff. And our Airbnb was across the river. So anyway, we went to the subway because it was getting late, like I said, and like it was a ways for our Airbnb. But we got down there to the subway, and we had just missed our train to take us across. We had just missed it. And, you know, they have the little board up there that says, like, how long till the next trains, you know, to the next subways. It was like 30 minutes at least 30 minutes. Could have been more than that. But I was like, oh my gosh, like, no way. And we were just so bummed because we had just missed it. And I just said, you know what? Let's just go rent the bikes, because we will get back to our Airbnb way quicker than having to wait on the subway and then ride it. At first, my husband was like, no way. Like, and we argued about it, like, for a minute. He was like, this is not worth it. Like, and I was like, yes, and we'll actually, like, feel like we're doing something. We won't just be sitting here, like, we're so tired. Let's just do it. And I don't know if y'all do or know anything about or care anything about the Enneagram. It's a personality thing. Anyway, but I'm a 7. So I think one of the names for that is like the enthusiast. And I love adventure. I love like going and spontaneity. And so this was right up my alley anyway. And I was kind of like, this is the perfect reason. Let's do it. Let's just go bike and follow our GPS on our phone to get back to our Airbnb. So he finally was like, okay. And we go back up the stairs and go find, with our nifty little app, go find the nearest bike. And we take off. And we just have on our maps, like, pulled up the address to our Airbnb. Because at this point, we have no idea how to get there. Like, we've just been riding the subway. So we start biking. And I love it. Like, we're bundled up. It's freezing outside. It's so cool. We're having a good time. I remember, being like, isn't this so great? Aren't you glad we did this? And so we go all the way across the bridge, which is honestly kind of scary because it's packed with traffic, and it was just a little bit nerve-wracking when you're not used to like biking in a city. And it's, super late at night. So we go across the bridge, and we don't realize until we get there that the map route is taking us through Arlington Cemetery. That is the way that it has routed us to get back to our Airbnb. Well, we get over there to the gates to Arlington Cemetery, which we still had not realized. We were like, surely not, surely not. It started kind of hitting us, but usually maps will like take into account closings and stuff like that. Obviously, Arlington Cemetery is closed at this hour. So I was like, there's no way, because my husband said, like, it's trying to take us there. And I was like, no, it's going to maybe just take us beside it. There's no way it's doing that. And we get up there, and sure enough, it has mapped us going through Arlington Cemetery, which is completely closed. So we can't get through, and we're lost. We don't know. And at this point, we've been biking for a while. So then we had to go back across the bridge. But at this point, we're too deep in it. And we have to go to another bridge, track back across the river. At this point, my husband is like ticked. Like, he's like, why did we do this? I knew we shouldn't have done this. Like, at this point, we would have already caught our subway. And you know how with your maps on your phone, like, if you just start going a different direction, for a while, it might try to make you U-turn to go back to where it wanted you to go, but then eventually it will reroute you. So we just keep going until it reroutes us, and it finally shows us where to go. We get back across the river, and we're just following the maps, okay? We end up in the Pentagon parking lot. This is the way the GPS is taking us. His phone is already dead. My phone is about to die. And like, the way that the app works with the bikes, you kind of like check your bike in and like see on your app that it is good. Like that okay, we've got your bike. Like, you're not going to be charged forever. Like, we've got it. And it kind of like gives you that security, whatever. So I'm using my GPS. My phone's about to die. We don't know how to get back to our Airbnb, and we find ourselves in the Pentagon parking lot. So we're like terrified at this point because we did not realize that's where we were. We're just blindly following this map on these stupid bikes. And we're like looking around, and we realize where we are, and we're terrified because we're like, we're probably not supposed to be here. Like, this is not where we're meant to be right now. And so we're like trying to get out of there with these bikes, and we like see some cops coming around the building, and we're like, great, like, here we go. Like, we are trespassing. Like, we're obviously not supposed to be in the Pentagon parking lot. But they don't stop us. They just, like, drove by. And so we're like, okay. We're gonna make it. And, like, at this point, I'm so angry at myself for getting us into this mess because it's 100% on me. We finally get out of that parking lot and make it by the skin of our teeth to the stupid bike port before my phone dies. Without exceeding like the amount of time we were supposed to have used the bikes, because we would have been charged way more. So we make it before my phone dies, and at that point we had like looked ahead on the map to like try to memorize where we had to go to get back to our Airbnb. And I'm telling you, I mean, we probably got back to our Airbnb, I don't know, 2 hours after we would have if we had waited on the freaking subway train to get us there. But in my mind, it was like, oh, it's going to take us 2 seconds to get to our Airbnb. Like, we might as well just ride the bikes. My legs were so sore. We both, I mean, we got back to our, like, hotel room, whatever, and just, like, collapsed. But, I mean, it was pretty funny at the time. Like, I mean, we were laughing even that night at, like, wow, that was a dumb decision. But now it's funnier because it's a good memory. Like, and I think that's part of my personality, is that even though when I make a decision and I think this could turn out not how I'm thinking in my mind, but I think in my subconscious, I am at the same time like, but this will be fun. Like, either way, like, even if it doesn't go the way we like want it to go, it's still going to be super fun in its crazy way. And that's not my husband's personality, but I think he like sees it that way eventually, like, and it's at least funny later to him, or like glad he has the memory, but in the moment, when we hit the gates of Arlington and I realized that it had taken us a route that was like, that we could not take, I was like, yeah, this was a bad decision. But it was a really fun trip. And I love DC. I don't think I've even been back since that trip, and that was several years ago. My sister and brother-in-law just took my niece this summer as like a birthday trip because she loves like history. They had the best time, and they went to Old Abbott's Grill. I don't think, that a little girl is necessarily going to appreciate it, but I think it was still a fun experience to go to that place, that restaurant. But there's just so much like free stuff to do in DC. And so much history. There's just so much cool stuff. And also, like, this is such a nerd thing, but like so many movies have been filmed there, And so it's always fun to me to be in big cities and like know like where, like, oh, this was filmed right here. Like, I'm standing where this happened. That's so dumb. But It's fun. I felt that way in New York City also. Like knowing that all these like TV shows and movies that I love are like filmed in these different places. I like that kind of stuff. My husband and I really like all the Marvel movies, and I think most of that was filmed in Atlanta. And so we talked about doing that tour sometime in Atlanta, like going there. But to go on like a Marvel tour is like $250 a person, I think. It's kind of a lot. Just to like get on a bus and have them take you around to where different stuff was filmed. I'm like, I might as well just drive myself around. Stranger Things was also filmed in Atlanta. And we really like Stranger Things. But anyway, silly story, but it was a funny night. And a funny story like after the fact, I guess. Hopefully this like cold in general goes away soon so that I don't sound like this. But I hope that you guys still enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.